going on, everybody? Welcome back to Opera Anna. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna. I am an opera singer and I am here to opera up your life. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and let's get right into the March opera news. Our main story tonight is something that I was really hoping I would not have to get into again so quickly on the channel. We talked about her in the February news, as well as one of her Russian friends, Valery Gergiev. That's right, today's main story features diva Anna Netrebko. In the course of 1 month, Anna Netrebko has gone from being one of the most sought after sopranos in the world to being the equivalent of Chris Rock to any opera house's Will Smith when it comes to negotiations. Oh, wow! Last month, I covered that she was being dropped from her contract from the Metropolitan Opera and was stepping down from the stage basically until further notice because she didn't want to publicly distance herself from Russian President Vladimir Putin. Well, strap in, boys and girls, because you are not ready for this. March 21st, Netrebko's management, Center Stage Artist Management, dropped her from their roster, just like Valery Gergiev's management dropped him so fast it would put any mic drop to shame. And on March 30th, after all of her performances have been canceled, she herself has said she's not returning to the stage for the foreseeable future. Netrebko issued a statement on her Facebook, I might add, very official. You could say backtracking, but to give her the benefit of the doubt, we're gonna say adding to her initial past actions and statements. She writes, "I expressly condemn the war on Ukraine and my thoughts are with the victims of this war and their families. My position is clear. I am not a member of any political party, nor am I allied with any leader of Russia." Okay, fair enough. "I acknowledge and regret that past actions or statements of mine could have been misinterpreted." Misinterpreted! So we're supposed to misinterpret your silence on the matter, besides saying that it was a senseless war of aggression, as being distancing yourself from Putin. I don't know. She goes on. "In fact, I have met President Putin only a handful of times in my entire life, most notably on the occasion of receiving awards in recognition of my art or at the Olympics opening ceremony. I have otherwise never received any financial support from the Russian government and live and am a tax resident in Austria. I love my homeland of Russia and only seek peace and unity through my art." Oh my God. I have something to say about this, but we will get to it later. Listen, whether you did or didn't take money from Putin or the Russian government, and those two are the same, to me is kind of irrelevant at this point. You can have taken money and still be able to distance yourself publicly, in my humble opinion. And the sheer fact that she mentions it is like she's trying to be like, yeah, but Gergiev is worse. Because everyone knows that he took money, like lots of financial support from Putin himself. But the thing that gets me about this post is the second to last sentence. "I only seek peace and unity through my art." Netrebko is literally the most controversial singer that I have ever seen on Instagram because of her replies to people, the sheer ludicrous speed with which she will block someone. And speaking of Instagram, her account on Instagram has recently been set to private, which of course all public figures do when they're trying to be totally transparent. Yes, peace and unity is what we're achieving by going private. Okay. I happened to follow her before this, so I still follow her. And it's at least good that my YouTube is not bigger than it is right now because I would probably get blocked myself. But since I followed her before this happened, I know that in March on the 27th, she posted that she was not really missing her work. Not that she's not entitled to a break. Everyone is allowed to take a vacation. But posting that you're not missing performing is hilarious to me. Like, by all means, I love seeing a performer who's kind of like about being there, about being on stage, about taking my money, about theoretically bearing their soul. Although if she's sort of about being there, then I'm guessing that's not what she's doing. But I mean, Before I go and show any type of bias in this news segment, I just want to say, I hope that Netrebko does very, very quickly return to the stage. You can put me on record for that. Put me on record for all of this. Just do it. I hope that she does quickly return to performing. Really, I really truly do, because there are lots of people who get lots of joy, who get lots of happiness and meaning out of her singing, and I don't want to deprive them of that. But for the time being, they're not going to be able to get it from the Metropolitan Opera because Peter Gelb is not super on board with this addition / backtracking statement that she's made on Facebook. He basically said until she completely and totally distances herself from Putin over the long term, she ain't coming back. Now, this Facebook post seems relatively concrete to me, just in my honest opinion, but I think Gelb is looking for a more like Putin is bad of thing, which I don't think he's gonna get that. I know Putin thinks that Russia is being canceled, but I think Anna is. Now let's move on because I cannot talk about this for another second. Speaking of the Metropolitan Opera, on March 19th, Opera Wire published this article about a heckler that was banned after having the sheer balls, like those are big, to heckle Brenda Ray, a soprano performing in Ariadne of Naxos, after she sang the insanely difficult aria Großmäßige Prinzessin. It might be the most difficult aria in the entire soprano repertoire. Like, it's ridiculous. And what did he say in his heckle as a audience member? After she finished the aria, he was heard yelling, "You have no technique." Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, you do it then. Like, what is going through your head to make you think that you have the right to not only interrupt everyone else's performance, the audience around you is not on your very, very rude level, but to take this moment away from a singer who may have thought, we don't know what was going through her head, but she maybe thought that she just killed it. And you go and scream, "You have no technique." Get out of my face. You should have not only been banned from the Met, you should have been fined for disturbing the operatic piece. Like, just go. And what just really bothers me about this is the fact that Brenda Ray will be forever known as the singer to get heckled and will probably pay thousands and thousands in therapy trying to build back her confidence and process this literal traumatic experience. Like, what do you do after that? Singing at the Met is any opera singer's dream, and to have something like this happen, I do not know how I would come back from this, and I wish Brenda Ray all the luck and the strength in the world to put this tiny, tiny man who said this to you out of your head. I am here for you, Brenda. We are all here for you. Do not let the haters get to you. Moving on. We're going to move to the other side of the Atlantic because it is too stressful in America. I can't do it. I want to highlight a story coming out of Barcelona, where mezzo-soprano Angela Brouwer, who has taken on the roles of Octavian, Charlotte, Dorabella, Agno, Rosina, Cendrillon, Cherubino, basically every major mezzo-soprano role in the standard repertoire, has taken it upon herself the challenge of one of the hardest soprano roles in the standard repertoire, Susanna from Le Notte di Figaro. The difficulty of Susanna doesn't lie in very technical things, although I guess you could call why it's difficult also technical. It's not very high, it's not very crazy. it's just the sheer stamina of this opera, because Susanna is on stage like 99% of the time. There's endless recitative. She has one very floaty aria at the end of the opera, and she has to basically outwit everyone she comes in contact with. Now, granted, that is in the opera, it has already been written, but still, the sheer energy is just crazy. Angela Brouwer this past week uploaded a rehearsal video to her Facebook and was kind enough to let me use it in this video. Thank you so much. She is singing Devi vieni non tarar in rehearsal. The reason I'm including it in this opera news is because first of all, I think it's really cool of Angela Brouwer to take on this role. She's an amazing performer. Like I said, she's taken on Cherubino. She can bring a much different perspective to the role of Susanna, having played Cherubino. Her voice is lush and bright. If you can sing the role, I feel like it would be limiting yourself as an artist to say that you'll never sing Susanna because it's not your Fach. Which brings me to the whole, what is Fach? Is it important / super relevant? Cause that whole Fach system didn't exist when the opera was written. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Fach system is a way of categorizing different types of voices so that it's easier to cast them in certain roles. When you are hired into the ensemble at a German house, you are hired as the mezzo or the coloratura soprano. And that means that the house knows exactly what roles they can cast you in, and you are expected to sing them. So the thing is that while this is a great system, it of course has its limitations. It didn't exist when this particular opera was written. And even if it had been, composers are not thinking, you know what would be great for this is lyric mezzo with a extension. That's who I'm writing for. Of course not. They're thinking about a specific singer a lot of times. They're thinking about the quality of the voice, the timbre, what they want, and that then pertains to a certain type of voice, more likely. But they're not thinking in very specific terms of this teeny little Fach that someone made up, because every voice is different. Like, the Fach system is so relative that I think it's great that as long as you can do the role justice, like I know Angela Brouwer will, sing the role. Fuck be damned. Who cares? I wish I could go to this performance. I think it would be so much fun to see Angela Brouwer sing this. If you are in Barcelona, please let me know how it is. I want to see it so bad. But our final story tonight brings us to Berlin, and namely to the Deutsche Oper, where Marina Abramovic, the renowned performance artist, is premiering her homage of sorts to Maria Callas in her performance of 7 Deaths of Maria. This show actually premiered at the Bayerische Staatsoper back in 2020, but given the fact that I've never heard of it, I put it on this list thinking it was brand new. This performance looks so interesting to me. It has lots of different mediums. William Dafoe is in it. Like, what? He has directed more operas, so I guess it's not totally weird that he's taking part in this non-opera. But there will be live music, there will be recorded music, and I'd be really interested to know if anyone out there watching this saw this performance maybe when it premiered back in 2020, or is going to see it on April 8th or 10th. I'm pretty sure that I have those dates right. The trailer is kind of freaky, and I'm dying to know if the actual performance is similar. And that was the March news. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me for the March edition of the Opera News. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Don't forget to tune in next month for the April news. Who knows what is gonna happen in April? Oh my God, I cannot wait. I literally cannot wait for the April news. It's gonna be crazy. Let me know if something crazy happened in the opera world that I did not catch, and I will see you next time. I love you. Addio.